All right, welcome to this lesson on dividing numbers in scientific notation. We are going to find that this connects very much to dividing exponential expressions. So in this first example, just to review, doing exponential expressions, we're going to do negative 12 divided by 3 first. We're dividing the coefficients. That gives me negative 4. Then we subtract the exponents. Next. Okay, negative 13 minus negative 4, or minus 4, I'm sorry. So, or you could think of it as if we move it to the top and change the sign and add the exponents, a to the negative 17. Now, in the past, we would say, oh, we can't write anything with a negative exponent, and so we would move it to the bottom to make it positive. But with scientific notation, we won't do that. We're allowed to have negative exponents. So let's do a scientific notation example like this. All right, we have a similar problem. We have negative 12 divided by 3, that is negative 4, times 10 to a power. We subtract the exponents. This one has a positive 13 power, and 13 minus 4 is 9. Okay, or we can bring this up to the top, change the sign, and add the exponents. We'll still get 9. So divide the coefficients, subtract the exponents. You can leave a negative exponent in the final answer. And we do need to correct it if the coefficient isn't between 1 and 10, but we can see here 4 is between 1 and 10. It just happens to be a negative, which we won't have too often with scientific notation, but it can occur with a negative coefficient. All right, so we have 3 examples in this lesson. All right, first we're going to complete each problem. And if I do 3 divided by 4, it says product here, but it should be quotient because we are dividing. 3 divided by 4 is 0.75. So I'm going to have to correct this. And I'm going to move my power of 10 to the top and change the sign so that I can add my exponents. I get 10 to the 9th. However, 0.75 is not between 1 and 10, so I'm going to move the decimal to the right one, which means I'm going to subtract 1 here. So I have 0.75. Oh, no, now it's 7.5, now that I've moved my decimal, times 10 to the 8th now when I combine those powers. Here's another one. 2.4 divided by 0.6 is exactly 4, so we're not going to have to correct on this one. I'm going to bring my power of 10 up so that I can just add them. So it's times 10 to the negative 12. Or if I do negative 9, the top power, minus 3, I still get negative 12. Our final example is an application scenario in which we're going to have to do a quotient. This does happen at times. We have reviewed that whenever a problem says the word how many times more, that means we're going to have to divide to find out how much is timesed by it. So we have a female blue whale and the weight of the female blue whale, a whale shark and the weight of that in kilograms as well. How many times more does the female blue whale, so she goes on the top of the fraction, weigh than the whale shark? So I'll put the female blue whale on the top of the fraction and the whale shark on the bottom. I will divide the coefficients using my calculator, and I get 0.6. And I will subtract the exponents. 5 minus 3 is 2. Or I can picture bringing it up and changing the sign and then adding the exponents. Here I do end up having to correct because 0.6 is not between 1 and 10. I'll move the decimal to the right one, which means I will subtract 1 from the power there to balance it out. So I have 6 times 10 to the 2 minus 1 is 1, or that's just 60. So a female blue shark weighs 60 times more than a whale shark. A female blue whale. I keep wanting to say whale shark. All right, so that is the end of this lesson on dividing in scientific notation and the end of our unit on exponents in scientific notation. We will be reviewing for a test in class now.